guys, this is for the couple that's asked about doing the basket weave stamp. Which way to put the stamp. Right, so if this is your sheath coming down, let's get you zoomed in. Okay, it's just a scrap bit of leather. I've just pulled out my scrap bin. I hope you can see that. I don't know what's going on with the lighting today, but anyway. Right, first off, if nobody knows, water. You've got to dampen the leather. It's important, otherwise you won't get the right impression. Right. Now these lines are already scribed in here because they were from, I've just grabbed it out me scrap. Right, you don't want massive amounts, you don't want it soggy. But on the same hand you don't want just a little bit. Now just to speed this up a bit, I wouldn't recommend doing this, just let this go back to its natural colour, but for the sake of me having lots to do, I'm just going to hit it with the air dryer a little bit just to speed up the process. But don't do this, just let it return back naturally. Right, okay. Okay, so that's where you're at now. It's back to normal now, near enough. You know, some people let it go right back to natural. I like it just like that. But anyway, now when you right, there's lots of different stamps, different types of basket weave. These are just a couple I've grabbed quick just out the thing over there. What I'm going to do is I'm going to pick what most people would normally use, because this one's quite difficult because the edges are different. This is different because it's slanted on the sides. This is a bit... I'm going to pick what most people would pick, what they normally would use maybe. It's probably one of these types. And we'll go with the bigger one for the sake of... so you can see a little bit better. What you want to do is get yourself a scratch awl or anything that can just, or even something that's going to give you a very faint line. Now what I always try and do is go from corner to corner with mine at a slight angle. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to very gently, and I mean gently, because obviously if you're going to antique this, which you know is the best type of stuff really for when you're tooling, you probably can't even see that line because I've done it that faint, but I can just see it. That will show up otherwise. Right, what you want to do is when you're putting your stamp down, you don't want your stamps running down straight that way. Let me just get right. You don't want your stamps running. Now, I've whacked that more than I would normally because I really want the impression to show. You don't want your stamps running down that way. Really, you want them running across, horizontal. Okay, so you want them like that. I hope that makes sense, rather than down. I mean, you can use them down, but for aesthetics, it's definitely going to look better if it's horizontal. You can use them both ways, but right, I'm going to pick this line here, and I'm going to very gently just rock it up to the line, and I'm going to wallop this way and that way, and that'll give me my impression. Now I shouldn't really move the leather, you're best just to leave it where it is for now, just until you've got the first couple in, so you get the feel for it. You can move it this way now if you want to, or move it wherever's best, where you feel comfortable. So what you want to do now is this line here, there's a couple of ways of doing this. You rock that back into them lines there, Right, okay, so all I've done is just, right, and then what you want to do is you want this in the centre then there, and I'll show you a different way of doing this in a minute, which I've done on something else. But what you want to do now is you want to rock this line back up to them points, trying to keep it even, and then rock it back out like that. And then what we want to do then is find that centre point. Whoa! Find that centre point again. Here. You see? Pop that in the centre. I'll show you a different way as well in a second. And you rock them two back up again into them little divots, and then we come back to the centre again. You see the pattern that's been created? Right, rock that back into there, rock that back into there. Always, oh, it's hard for me to do this here because I'm conscious that I'm out of frame all the time, and I'm going a bit higgledy-piggledy. And then let me just get a line across, try and get a straight line across. Okay, and then what we're going to do is, we don't want this to come right to that edge, because you can use a camouflage tool, so you want to just gently keep, very gently, just keep walking it up to the line. You see? Right, and what we'll do now is we'll turn the piece around, and we'll start again with the centres, which are here. And we'll go, there's your one, turn your piece around, and then we can start walking it in a straight line, making sure that it's lined up both sides. Well guys, where are we at? In the camera. Okay, I'm just running what they call a camouflage tool around the edge, and we'll do a little bit more with the basket weave, just so you can get to grips. Maybe watching me do it, sometimes seeing somebody do it, it's a lot better than books. I'll find anyway. That's why, you know, YouTube's great, I think. You know, you can learn a lot from watching somebody do it. Books are great, don't get me wrong, but to actually see somebody do it, or talk and explain while they're doing it, sometimes, well, it helps me out anyway with certain stuff. So I also wanted to, where are we at here? I'll have to bring you. Talk about this basket weave a little bit as well. The thing with it is, just like when I done the, when you watch me do the tri-weave pattern, the thing with with any of these geodesic or patterns, just like brickwork, I suppose me being an ex-bricky helps, I suppose. What I'd suggest is you spend quite a bit of time laying those first 5 to 6 or your line sorry guys, oh, I have to open that window, my flipping fire's hot in here today, wow. 5 or 6, you know, like when I started up here. Right, we'll go back now. I just need to dampen this a little bit now, I think. When you come to dampen your piece as well, guys, don't just dampen one area where you need to tool, do the whole lot. Because if you want to run this as just a veg tan on its own with no dye, or even with the dye, you'll find you'll get uneven dyeing, or when you dampen something, I find with leather that it, especially if you're going to leave it natural, you'll get what I call like a puddle mark in the leather when you come to dye, or when it dries you'll have a darker area where that water's been. Right, the thing with any of these patterns, not just this basket weave, the choi weave, it's laying those first 5 or 6 out as accurately as you possibly can, because obviously then the rest follows. If you do 1, 2, 3 and one's on the P a bit, or one's out, you'll have them first 3 lovely, and then that one will just start coming round, and it'll just get more and more exaggerated, and then you'll have to correct more, and it'll just, in the end, it'll be a real mess. So, and I know it's hard to get these straight lines like this, but what I'm getting at is, if you set them ones, the first ones up here at the top where I showed you before, where are we here? Oh, we're up that side, aren't we? And I'll be starting over that side, right. If you set your first ones up here correctly and as neatly and as straight as possible, everything else then, if you keep to that, will flow lovely. Let's bash a few out. You can watch how I line it up and the sort of speed. You know, I've slowed everything down really, just so that you can, you know, I'll go a bit more into real time, a little bit, not fully, just to show you that when you've set them first couple, if it takes you half an hour, it doesn't matter. Please trust me. Oh, I'm getting my hammer in the way, you know. Please trust me that it'll be worth doing, because it'll save you a lot of heartache and a lot of stress over your pattern going wrong. I'm gonna have to zoom this out. I was hoping I could have kept you in it. Right, I hope you can see that, guys. I'm just constantly lining it up, wallop. With the choi weave, you have to hit it in a few more places, but with this one, I find just the back and forth, one side and another, is more than enough for this one. It sets it lovely. As you can see, once you set them first couple up, the rest, to be honest, are not that bad at all. You know, it sort of keeps a straight line for you. When I come to do, like if you're running out of room here, turn it back round and line this one up, and this one is the real important to, you know, because you want to keep that line as straight as possible. So pick your points that you've chose on the tool, you know, crouch down a little bit, look down it, twist it around until you're happy, and then wallop. It could have been turned a little bit more that way. I didn't see that. Okay, that's corrected that now, because I only lightly hit it. Sometimes I'll do that rather than give it a real good whack straight away, because let's do another one here. Where are we? Okay. Let me just go into this one, because I don't want to get this wrong. Okay. Okay. Is that right? Yes. Okay, and then we'll come back in. Same again. Make sure. Okay, there we have our straight line again now. Might not look straight on the camera, but it is. It's pretty straight anyway, I think. There you go. See? Don't look it on the camera for some reason, but it is. And that just takes a lot of practice. But when you get it like that, it'll really help you to run the rest, to start tooling the rest. Just do a couple more. Hope this helps, guys. We'll start off lining them points up, wallop wallop, and we're away again now. There's no rush. It's not about speed. Speed comes after. It's about accuracy. The tooling faster just comes naturally with doing it. You know, don't, you know, just real take your time. It don't matter how long it takes. It's all about having that pattern as neat and in line and as uniform as possible. That's what it's about. It's not about the speed. It's about having everything sorry guys, I've just realised I'm concentrating that much. I ain't even in frame. Okay, there's another line. We'll double check that again with the ruler. Let me see how we've gone this time. There we go. By doing that as well, I can tell if I'm running out, see, if it's starting to run out, or, you know. I mean, it's not major if it's a little bit, you know, but it will start, especially with this pattern, it will start to bring everything out, or it'll bring the one line round, and then you'll be, there is a point where you can correct minor imperfections, but if it really turns, like if you did one like that, and then you did one real on the P, like, if you did one like this, and then you did one, say, like that, are you with me? You wouldn't pull that back right, because once you try and correct it, then sort of bring the line back round, this is what's going to happen. You see? So, you know, it's exaggerated, but it's easily done. It's my way of showing you, you know, you can, you know, if you've gone out a little bit, you can just rock it back and just correct it a little bit. You've got a bit more leeway with the tri-weave sometimes, but even then, if you twist that too much, ones like this shape, if you mess up with that, that's it, you've had it. If you go out, it really looks bad, man, with that one. If you, it's beautiful when it's done, but if you pull it out and you don't concentrate, then right, I'm going to leave it there. I've got to do a little video for Cozy in a minute about dyeing stuff for his belt, and I'll maybe bring you back just 10 minutes or when they're all done and dyed, and I'll show you then. Okay, bye for now, Lee.